Today I'm building an accessible home, so a place that's able to house someone that may be in a wheelchair, partially sighted or have a learning disability. Obviously Sims 4 is not built to be accessible friendly, as we do not have that kind of representation in The Sims 4. Well, not without mods. Did you know that in the UK, 18% of people are disabled and 7% of homes require some sort of adaptation with a person with a disability? And that's not taking into account all the supported living and care homes that we have. So I tried to think of what a person may need in their house to make it a perfectly accessible living environment for them. I kept the front yard as flat as possible, and I tried to build a ramp for the wheelchair out of roofing. It's not perfect and I had to use a move objects cheat to get it right, but it's more of a representation of a ramp. To the left we have a table for someone to sit and do some gardening if they find it hard to bend down. To the right I've made a nice socialisation space. The ground is aptly called braille blocks. This kind of ground might be great for someone that is hard of seeing. The ground is slightly pebbled so they can feel where to go. Going in, you can see I've made the central walkway and the archway nice and wide so someone in a wheelchair could get through easily. In the bedroom, it's pretty simple and I've tried to keep it quite cute. There's a space for a dresser for someone to get ready with a low mirror, and I've also put on a safety helmet in case the person has epilepsy or severe disabilities that require head support. I've tried to liven the room up with a funky light. With the bed, I imagine it's a profile bed, meaning it can lift up and down and sit people up. And the posts around the bed represent a track hoist. This is to support someone in and out of bed. The wardrobe is open for ease of access. In the bathroom you can see I've tried to make this as safe environment as possible. The floor is non-slip material and is not tiled, as this can be difficult to manoeuvre wheelchairs on. The shower and large bath have a rail next to them so people can hold on if needed. I imagine the bath has a door in front for ease of getting in and out. I've put a little set of needles and a sharp spin on the surface to represent someone that might be diabetic, so they can test their blood sugar and safely dispose of the needles. The toilet also has a railing next to it for safety. The bathroom can be one of the most dangerous rooms in the house for someone with a disability, so it's important to try and make it as safe as possible. But I added in some homely features, again to make it feel less clinical. Next we have the utility room, which is great storage and washing facility. For example, if someone needs support with washing bedding and clothing every day, it's great to have a dedicated area for that. This may be a great place to store mobility equipment such as extra wheelchairs, standing aids or hoisting equipment if they needed. Again, it's nice to have a dedicated area for this kind of equipment so they're not cluttering up the rest of the house and causing a hazard. It also helps the rest of the house feel more homely and less clinical. Next we're going to the sensory room. This is something that is built for people with learning disabilities. It can be a great place for people with sensory impairment to explore the world. Over this side I've put in a small art desk where someone could finger paint or play with things like kinetic sand. This again is great for tactile stimulation. I've put in a stereo for more auditory fun and a soft seat for someone to relax in. So I've kept it quite dark and put in some fun lights such as the Galaxy Light Show objects with the Laser Light Show object to help visual stimulation. The Laser Light Show may not be great for someone with photosensitivity for epilepsy, but I kept the room quite dark so if someone was recovering from a seizure they had a dark space to do it in. I put in some hanging objects for visual interest. I've made the flooring soft so if someone is on the floor it's more comfortable for them. I've put in some fun tactile objects for someone to play with such as soft toys, blocks and a fun violin for audio stimulation. Into the kitchen, and again very open plan. I would like to imagine these units are rise and fall units with extra lengths of service that sticks out so a wheelchair could get underneath. These services can either move up or down with the use of a crank wheel or can be electronic. They are amazing for helping people be more independent in their own homes. Into the dining room, and again I've made this as open as possible for a wheelchair to go either side of the table if needed. I've also put a wheelie chair at the desk so if someone in a wheelchair needed to get to the computer they could easily move the chair out of the way. Again, I tried to make it as homely as possible with the display units to show off personal belongings. Into the living room, it's nothing special, just a basic front room but with an open feel and plenty of space to move around in, and not too much movable furniture which can be a hindrance to someone who's partially sighted. I imagine if someone is partially sighted, they might have a service dog, so I've put some toys down and a nice big bed for them to relax next to the fire for them to chill after a hard day of supporting their human. So that's my perfectly accessible house. I know I haven't represented every disability, but I've tried to cover the basics and make it as safe and personalised as possible. There are some great accessible mods out there that I would like to try out with this house to see how it works. I've been a carer and a support worker for 8 years now, so I wanted to make something that represents the people that I spend most of my time with, as I feel they're not represented enough throughout the world. If there is anything I got wrong, I'm very sorry, but please keep in mind every person and every disability is different, and what might be a care standard where you're from might be different from where I'm from. Please let me know if there's anything I'm missing or some suggestions for future builds. Thank you for watching.